Alright everyone, today's video is Campaign Design 1. Now that's a different title than I usually have because today is the first video in a series of videos on campaign design, and so I want you guys to be very easily able to tell them all apart from just the beginning of the video. Campaign Design 1, right? 2, 3, 4, and so on. So we're going to cover the very basics of how to design your campaign. Should be a good video though. So basically there's two questions you got to ask yourself. What is my campaign setting and what is happening, right? And so as far as campaign setting goes, we'll cover that one first because your campaign setting is very important, I think. And a lot of people don't have their own campaign setting, right? They confuse homebrew world and campaign setting a lot. Your campaign setting is just where what's happening is taking place, all right? And this is part of your homebrew world, okay? Or it could be part of an official world, either one. It's just wherever the campaign is happening. Now, I recommend making your own campaign setting or just taking whatever world you're using in and making it your own because you're going to know everything so much more if you made it from the ground up. Everything is going to be so much more clear to you if you make it from the ground up. So there's a process I've discovered that's really, really handy for doing this. And the most important step is generating a dozen city names or maybe actually a dozen city names and drawing a bad map. Okay. Now, y'all are going to say, why would we draw a bad map? Well, this is just, I'm not an artistic person, and I'm sure many of you are not artistic people. This is just to kind of get the ball rolling on what your campaign setting looks like, okay? So just draw a bad map, all right? Make it look like America if you want to. Make it look like the USA. If you need something to draw it off of, make it look like the USA, and then just put 12 points on the map that are your cities, and boom, names, all right? And then you just start working from there. But step one is draw a bad map. And as you flesh out the world, draw slightly better versions over time. My best version got to pretty basic because I'm like I said, I have zero artistic talent. I cannot draw for anything, okay? But my map still looks pretty good after a while because I put some time into it and I built it up over time. I figured out the relative distances between things, just like that. So it's a little bit of work, but it's more than worth it to have your own campaign setting. Call it a favorite if you want. Call it the Forgotten Realms. Just make sure it's your version of that setting. In fact, that's listed very early on in the DMG or PHB, but make sure it's your setting because you'll know everything so much better and you'll be able to answer all the questions the players have. All right, number two, the city names. All right, the dozen city names, that's a region, okay? You just need to start with one region and make sure you start your players there, okay? You've got your rough map, you've got your region and your city names. Pick a city, they start in that city. Just make them start in that city. Don't give them a whole variety of choices. Just say, all right, you guys are going to start here. How did you get there? All right, and that's stuff you can cover in session one. But as far as your campaign setting, you need to start them in one location that you're ready for, and then you can build out from there. All right, and this is the brick by brick theory of building your campaign setting. Is okay. Well, they're going to go dungeon by dungeon. They're going to find what's there and make sure you keep track of what they do because all that's adding to your world. And if it's just a bunch of unrelated events in generic setting one, then it's a lot of the game that your players aren't going to have access to. Yes, they're going to still have fun, but they're not going to benefit much from anything like history checks or knowing geography, buying maps, all that they're not going to be able to access. And they're still going to have fun, you're still going to have fun, but it just enriches and elevates your game if you have a campaign setting. And herd the cats, all right? Herding cats, I'm sure some of you have heard that phrase before. Herding cats is really hard. It's hard to do. And so as a DM, you've got to practice your cat herding skills. And that'll probably be one of my expert DM or new DM videos is how to herd your players and get them where you want them to go. And I don't mean railroad. That is so much different from railroading because railroading is, okay, you have to go here. You're just forcing them to do it. If you're herding the cats, what I basically do is I put sticks where they're not supposed to go and carrots where they are supposed to go, right? So if I don't want them going to region X yet, I put some tough enemies. If I want them to go to region Y, I put, hey, there's a quest here, there's this leading there, right? Because I build the world, okay? If there's 3 quests and, they can instead walk into the desert of death, they're probably not going to walk into the desert of death. And if they do, hey, they're dumb, right? If they want to be dumb, they die, I guess. I don't know. It's your choice. I mean, just the carrots and the sticks are usually more than enough to herd my cats. All right, and that's a very basic analogy. And you can solve a lot of these problems during session zero and character creation and making sure. And this is why another part of the campaign setting is so important, is because it helps you have a better session zero. It helps you have more characters that are more connected to one another. There's a live play you guys should check out. It's by the Dungeon Dudes. It's called Dungeons and Dragonheim. It's amazing. It's so good, and Monty Martin is an amazing DM. You should check out the channel, the Dungeon Dudes. I'm not gonna link it below because I don't know how to get all that good stuff, but check them out. They're on YouTube, and their live stream is amazing. It's very fun to watch, and they have a lot of really good things. Their combat is good combat, but it's not the fast combat that I have, which everyone has a different style. But the world that he has built, the campaign setting, the game is so much enriched because he has a wonderful campaign setting, and the players are all connected, and the backstories are all really good, and the characters have good motivations because of the campaign setting. So it's very important, right? And so the next question you got to ask yourself is, what is happening? And if you're one of my players, one of my games, tune out now, all right? Because I'm about to drop some major spoilers. In one of my games, the players are going to fight a dragon, right? And so that's what's happening. That's the big final event of the campaign, is they're going to fight this ancient red dragon. Okay, so what is happening because of that? Well, there's the dragon cult having all their activity. There's red dragon born in the mountains. There's half dragons as well. There's a difference between those, by the way. There's half dragons. So that's some of what is happening because of the final event. But what's happening in this smaller part is, they're just trying to kind of. When I did their session zero, I made sure all of them had some source of information telling them there's a problem in the mountain, and that's so easy to do. And now they all want to figure out what's wrong with the mountain. And I might foreshadow some of the groups. Like, so far, I've already thrown in a dragon cultist, and they don't know he was a dragon cult because they killed him before they could question him that thoroughly. But they're gonna fight. They're gonna. That's part of the foreshadowing. Right now they're in Hartford, and there's a guy named Clink in a house, and he's a red half dragon, and he's working with a guy named Gar the Cruel. And so all this is leading towards my vague foreshadowing. You need plenty of vague foreshadowing. The more vague it is, and the more plenty it is, the better. Because then when they get somewhere, because you don't know where the players are going to go, but when they get somewhere, they can be like, "Oh, you called this out all the way over here," and then it's gonna be epic. You're gonna love that moment, and it's so easy to have all this vague foreshadowing because I know what's gonna happen in the end is gonna fight an ancient red dragon. So my foreshadowing down the line is, hey, a lot of red dragons, a lot of dragon cult activity. Oh, there's a red dragon. Okay, so that's not the most vague, but so far all they know is that there's a cultist, right? That's all that they've encountered. They're going to encounter some more things. They're going to get some more definite images, and of course, in session zero, I let them lay down some foundations of foreshadowing. I let them know that there's a fire sparking in the mountain. It's a blaze that'll engulf the world. Really laying it on kind of heavy. They haven't picked up on it yet, though. I don't think, anyways. So that vague foreshadowing is good. So we've got the big monster. We've got plenty of foreshadowing. All right. In the meantime, to just make some challenges. You're a DM. You know how to do it. Make some challenges, and have it all work towards that final goal, and make sure your character goals are in line, and it's all setting aligned, and it's all working towards that final goal of the dragon. And it's not like a forced conclusion. It's an epic showdown at the end, because then the game's gonna be so much fun for all of them. So yeah, that's campaign design one. Pro tip. Let me think of a pro tip real quick. Pro tip, pro tip, pro tip, pro tip, pro tip. Pro tip is steal. Okay. I have a city. First of all, steal names. Unless you're gonna publish it, then you'll have to change the names. But steal names, steal cities, steal people. Like, Waterdeep is such a cool city. Steal it. Throw it in your game. Have it be a seaport. I might do that like right after this video. I might make a seaport called Bronze Gate. It's Bronze Gate because the harbor is guarded by a massive bronze gate that was erected by a merfolk. All right, and I just came with that just now. So steal and just reflavor. That's a pro tip. Anyways, good luck, goodbye, have fun in your games.